So I figured I was on a roll. I was doing a couple of reviews, 2 under the belt, and I figured why not do one more. I'm not in work tomorrow. Doesn't matter if I stay up late. I'm an adult. Party in my pantular region. And it's Prowl. Or is it Prowl? Well, it is Prowl, but it's also Samurai Prowl with a sidecar. Samurai Prowl is an interesting figure. For many reasons, well, not really many reasons. He's basically, it's Barbie with a new hat, as I'm very fond of saying on our forum. Prowl was a character I didn't warm to Prowl in animated. I know other people did. I didn't warm to him at all. I like my Prowl to be a cop car. I'm not a G1 purist. Before I get any replies about that. But I didn't really go for him. So I wasn't in a rush to get the toy. Plus the toy didn't show up on the shelves. A lot of the toys from the first run didn't really show up on the shelves over here. We got kind of mid waves, just sort of mixed in here and there much later on. But Prowl was one that never showed up, and I didn't really kind of get into him toy wise until I was in Modelmania and they had a loose one on the table. I started messing about with him and I really liked him. And after that I really wanted him, especially with the samurai gear, because I really like Lockdown. Any episode with Lockdown in is pure win. And I do quite like it. I think the alt mode is really, really nice. I actually think the armoured mode at the end is very, very nice as well. It just doesn't work as well as it could have. So as you can see, Prowl anyway is a black bike, police bike, although you can't really tell here because the siren colours are gone from the back, with this kind of gold trim running along on the oil tank here, on the mud guards or the leg protector thingies, and along here as well, and on the wheels there are little bits of grey dotted about, and his Autobot logo is silver, which I think is always good. The wheels are grey as well, and he's got translucent blue with circuitry on the windshield here, which I think is different to what was on the original one. Matching that is the circuitry on the windshield here on the sidecar. The lights are translucent plastic, and there's a bit more cream involved in what are supposed to be seats, but you can see that they're kind of armatures. And then there's this side wheel. The bike is really, really nice. It's a pain in the ass to transform it back into from robot mode. To go from robot to the bike mode is just, I'm afraid something will snap. And he's actually become loose as a result of it. But it is very, very nice. It rolls quite nice. This little sidecar thing is a nice addition to the actual mould, and it does look pretty good. There's not an awful lot to say to it, except that he comes with a kickstand, which is nice, and because of the transformation also, you can actually get a bit of turnage here. That's right, turnage is a word, look it up. But that's really it. It's just quite nice. So we'll move on to the robot mode. And there's our animated Prowl with the upgraded sort of bits and pieces with regards to kind of translucent plastic. As you can see, he's quite poseable and he holds his posing quite well. From transforming him just a couple of times, this has become extremely loose. But it's not a big deal because he actually does support his own weight fairly well. He comes with it, like because of, I guess, what's going on, you actually lose a couple of bits with the sidecar being there. These bits don't come out now with you don't get the throwing stars anymore, and thankfully they got rid of the kind of abysmal weapon of a traffic light. Yeah, that's how we're going to beat Decepticons, by stopping traffic. And he is a really, really nice toy. It's a nice figure. My kind of first impressions of it in the store were really nice. And it does look like the cartoon has just jumped out of the screen and landed on your table there. Although that peg is not the greatest. They could have given him a bigger peg, I suppose. But that's really it. I mean, posing is what it is. It's typical of an animated toy. You can do quite a bit. The legs are quite interesting in the respect that you can get that kind of posing out of them. So he does fulfill his ninja obligations by being uber flexible, and he's really, really quite nice. But we're not really here for just him, are we? We're here for this also, which is, let's move him to the side here. His sidecar. Sidecar is quite interesting. It's a bit of, I thought it was going to be more of kind of clipping pieces out and attaching them, but it's not. The only thing that clips out is this. You pull that out. We'll put it to one side for now. Now, basically what you do is you need to separate all the pieces which lock together quite nicely. And there's just a little bit of kind of rotating stuff into the right kind of directions, which I'm trying to avoid doing transformation on screen because it takes up time and YouTube are being real fickle at the moment, but this I wanted to show you. So that's basically the pack. Now to attach it to Prowl, you have to bring these wings up, and you basically, it doesn't necessarily clip in too well. It's supposed to, but it doesn't. But you can get away with it because of the way these arm things come in under his own arms. And trying to achieve it is a bit fickle, and you do need to fumble a bit with it. But once you do it, the armour does sit quite nicely in place. The arms have this kind of thing of locking it in. It's supposed to, according to the instructions, it's supposed to clip in. Mine doesn't clip in too well. I don't know if that's just mine, but it does work anyway. And then you've got this armature that comes down over Prowl's head, like so. Now, I've seen a lot of kind of people kind of say, oh, it doesn't sit very well over the head. It doesn't sit very well over the head, but you are getting something that it does look pretty decent. As he says this, he's fumbling with it to make it look a bit better. It does look pretty decent all the same. It's only really if you go in for close inspection that it doesn't really work too well or on the face, but you know, you're not going to be doing that. The wheel here, you flip out this blade and that's it, it's done. It just clips in to his forearm, which even I'm struggling with that. Ah, there we go. And there is your Samurai Prowl. Now, because of the way the battle pack works, it does hinder a bit of his movement. His arms don't move like they did, but you still can achieve some posing out of it. The legs are still pretty good. I mean, these are on swivels anyway and stuff, so you can actually still do stuff with the legs. The head, because it's on an armature, you don't get anything out of it. I would have actually preferred if this armature hadn't existed and the helmet popped out and you just slotted it on, and that would give him a full range of movement. It's not happening. You can get a little bit of it, but it generally sort of separates. Which is a shame. It should have been something separate, I think. And then of course there's the energy katana blade thing here, which is actually quite a nice little addition. I would gladly give up the stars for the blade. So there is Samurai Prowl. You know, it is a nice figure. It might not be for everybody, but what I do like about it is that the backpack it doesn't come apart. It's designed well enough that you just basically can... everything is on hinges, so it just slots out as I showed you, and then you just kind of slot it back onto him. And even if this doesn't connect too well to the back like it's supposed to, it's still held. I mean, like you can see, like I'm shaking this pretty, it's not budging. So in that respect, you kind of do get away with it not being perfect, and it is it really is nice. I mean, it's unique in the respect that it's a character who got additional stuff, and it's a new hat, because it is a new hat, but it does work really well, and it does give him a really nice look. I think it really does make him look more Japanesey, and isn't that where Transformers is from? So yeah, I can't recommend him for everybody, because I don't think he'll be for everybody. And if you already have Prowl, I wouldn't really bother too much with it, because the core figure is basically the same. You're going to be paying the deluxe price point for just an add-on, which is a sidecar. However, if you like the episode that it's in, and you do like the Samurai Prowl with the battle armor, go for it. Be my guest. I think it's great. He is loose in places, and the more I kind of transform him and pose him, he seems to be getting a bit looser. So, it's up to you how you want to go with that. But I do really like him, and I like the look of him, and he looks great on the shelf next to Lockdown.
You don't have to be crazy to do this, but it sure helps.